Hey, I'm back with No Frills Hi-Fi. Today I've got another product from Schiit. I do look forward to hearing everybody in the comments fighting over whether that's a good name or not. I personally love it. But this is the Freya Plus by Schiit. This is, if you watch one of my other reviews about one of their phono preamps, the Skull, I mentioned that there was no volume control. People had fun with that one too. This was the amp that I meant to order when I got that. Worked out good because I like phono preamps too and use them, but this is what I really meant to get because this goes perfectly with a Vidar. You can use it with any other amp, but typically if you're going all Schiit, you would have the Skull plugged into the turntable and then this into the Vidar. I did have to send the Vidar back in order to get this, so can't test them together unfortunately, or not the Vidar, the Skull. So I do have the Vidar. I will be using it with this Freya. I did want to use my phone a little bit to kind of look up some stuff. I don't get into the specs too heavily on here because I figure those you can kind of look up on your own. But I did want to kind of go over some options and pricing. So the Freya here, it's a tube amp, and you can buy it obviously with or without tubes. If you buy it without tubes, of course, you can add your own if you've already got them or you're planning on something different than what they sell. But it's $8.49 for just the Freya, no tubes. If you get it with the matched 6N 8S tubes, it's $8.99. So for me, even if I had tubes, unless I just knew I really don't like those, I'd probably pay the extra $50 and get it with a spare set of tubes, even if I don't plan on using them right away. To be fair, though, I haven't looked at the price of tubes individually, so maybe you can get a better deal somewhere else. You can also get the premium matched 6S and 7 tubes. That'd be $1,049, so quite a big jump up in that. They are a better tube. I read over the specs a little bit online, but I would definitely encourage you before you buy either of them to go ahead and read through it yourself and just kind of see what you want. I believe they did. I did cut the tape open. I didn't actually open it yet. I think that's what they sent me though, was the match 6S and 7 tubes. But there's a fourth option. You can also get what they call the List LISST quad. I'm assuming they pronounce it List. I will. I'm sure I'll be corrected. But the List tubes are $9.99. The List tubes are different. They are a solid state tube. I've actually never really played with those before. I'd heard of them before. I've never actually used them. I guess for me, if I have the option, I'm going to put vacuum tubes in it. I like the warmth. I like the kind of vintage sound, the way they sound. But if you like the solid state sound, then nothing wrong with it. Get those. They last forever too. So I mean, that's kind of nice. Vacuum tubes you're going to be replacing periodically. I mean, it depends on how much you use them. I'm not going to say you're going to replace them every year. You could probably run this thing 24/7 for a year and not need to replace a tube. But one could blow tomorrow. It's kind of like a light bulb. You never really know how long they're going to last. And really blowing, I've never actually blown a tube in an amp before. I've gotten to where they just kind of wear out. They start getting really dark. They don't really work quite right. And you replace them and it fixes the problem. But this is kind of cool that it gives you a lot of flexibility in that. So let's go ahead and get this open. I know you can't really see in the box real well from that angle, so I just kind of pull stuff up as I pull it out. But here I've got the tubes. This is the 6SN7 Premium, so that's what I thought. Put those right there. I've got the instruction manual. Probably will need that at some point. And let's see here. I don't want to mess anything up here, but let's just put that off. So they do package these really well. Everything I've gotten from Schiit so far has been very, very high quality. And then we've got the power cord, and it looks like the remote. So I'm going to go ahead and put the box down. Alright. get the plastic off, take a look at this. So if you've seen some of my other videos, you know, I do like the Fosi Box X4 Freya Preamp. It's tiny. You could fit a dozen of those in this thing. This is a very serious amp right here. So I'm just going to kind of look over it. Everything looks like it's in great shape. They do a really good job of packaging, like I said. So the tubes will go in the top there, and I'll make sure that you can kind of see what I'm doing when I put those in, just in case you're curious. So right off the bat, I mean, nice metal case, looks like, you know, brushed aluminum. Looks really, really cool. There's the dial for the volume. You've also got, of course, power and standby. Don't actually know what those are yet, so we'll look that up in just a second. Yeah, let's pull up the destruction manual, because I honestly didn't really read up a whole lot on functionality on this one, because I kind of wanted it to be, you know, I know nothing about it. Let's pull it open and kind of see how easy or how hard that it is to mess with. So it has you putting the tubes in right away. There is a remote control. So those buttons, let's see now. There's a mute button. Probably won't be using that. And then you can select the output stage, passive, differential buffer, 0 gain, or differential tube gain, 12 decibels, 45-second delay. Yeah, so pretty common stuff. So let's see here. Mute button. There's that. And output select. So you've got the mute button right here. If you can see that, there's a little X, and the other button is to select the output. Got all these little lights here to kind of indicate which output you're using. There's also one if the tubes get too hot. And then just because I can't really see it as I point to it, I'm going to go ahead and pull that diagram up. But the back of it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, if you've looked at the back of pretty much any electronics, you could probably figure out what all this is pretty quickly. But we have the input number 1, input number 2, and then we have, let's see here, single-ended inputs with RCA. And then, of course, on the other side, we have balanced out. So you can go either fully balanced XLR setup to your amp, or you can do the RCA if your amp doesn't have that, which is kind of nice that they put all the extra stuff in there. It's pretty common too. I mean, I can't say that's like a shit thing, but it's nice that they did include that. Of course, you have the power switch right here, nice and crisp. And then the power plug right there for the cable. As far as cables go, they do come with a cable. Should be more than adequate for you. If you are going with a longer length, I would definitely upgrade this cable to something a little bit heavier duty. But for the length that this is perfect. Obviously, it's designed by the manufacturer, so you know they're not going to send you a cable that's not going to work. But mine, where I plug it in, is only like a foot away from power, so I'm going to go ahead and use this one. If I was going a little bit further away, I do have some cables that people love to comment about as well, so I may plug that in just to piss people off, because that's what I do. And then we've got the remote. So the remote, if you're familiar, it's about the size of maybe like an Apple TV remote. And let's see, so we've got, of course, power, mute, volume. That's kind of cool. Oh, there's a fourth one there. What is that? Oh, output. Okay, so you can change between passive differential buffer and differential tube output stages. So just like you can do on the front of the amp. So really, I mean, it's got every control on the remote that it has on the back, and the brushed stainless on the remote matches the unit, so that's kind of cool. I don't really use remotes too much because I mostly play vinyl, so you kind of got to get up anyway to change a record, but it's nice that they included that. I will say I'm not seeing how you open it to change the batteries. Flip the remote over to reveal a single hole on the back, so there's a hole right there. Push the remote open by inserting the end of a paper clip. So it looks like this black piece probably just pulls right out, and batteries are right there. I'm going to go ahead and start putting the tubes in. Let me just see real quick if we've got that in view, and we really don't. So you don't need to see my face for this anyway. I'm just going to turn this down so that you can see what's going on. All right, so the tubes will go into these holes. The biggest thing to remember is you can see inside there's a little kind of a piece that sticks out in that center circle. There's a little knob thing sticking out on the tube, and you need to make sure that's aligned. So let's go ahead and open this up. So there are the tubes. Something to remember though, don't touch the glass on the tubes. If you're familiar with tubes, you've probably heard it 1,000 times. You've probably done it 1,000 times, but it is best not to get the oil on your hands on them. They can have problems with the oil kind of hardens on them, and it looks terrible, but it also can affect functionality, I'm told, over time. I'm sure I'll be corrected and supported with that comment. I'll probably get both. But either way, I don't care. I'm putting gloves on because that's the right way to do it. I've always done it. I've never had a problem. So I'd hate to stop doing it and suddenly have a problem. The big thing to remember with tubes, always remember, don't drop the stupid thing. I've done that before. That sucks. Because I don't know of a store, at least near me, where I can just go down and buy these tubes. So I would be ordering them, and then I can't play with my toy. So right there you can kind of see the little knob there, and we just want to make sure when we're doing this, I'm going to stand up so I can hold it at the same time. When we're doing this, we want to make sure that lines up, and it's gonna be not necessarily hard to push in, but it will be a little bit tight, and as you could probably see, it kind of snaps into place. Some of the cheaper amps, like the Fosi Box X4, which I've had great luck with, I love it, not putting it down in any way, but the tubes in that are incredibly tight. I actually felt like I was going to break them just trying to get them put in. So I really do like that, that they're snug, but you don't want them too much. The Freya here is in a totally different class. These tubes go in just like they should. They're firm, they're going to stay there, but they're not impossible to get in and out, and you don't feel like you're going to break anything trying to do so. But there it is. The Freya is all put together. I'll do another video with a review of me actually using it. Obviously you can't hear it quite the same on a YouTube video that you would hear it in person, but just kind of give you my thoughts on it. But yeah, honestly, I mean, this is probably one of the coolest amps you can get for this price. The quality is just incredible. I'm really excited to try this one out. But yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and that way I can get more stuff to play with. We'll catch you later.